do editing. Oh, we are live. Jay, we're live.
And we are live. Transformers the show.
I live my life walking down the street, meet the faces of the people I see. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to be alone. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. 'Cause when I'm with you, it seems so easy. Seems so easy. My best days are with you. They are so easy. They are so easy.
Right, welcome to Transformers the Show, episode 106. There's no Paul tonight. He's managed to escape. So it's Transformers the Show Uncaged. Now, we'll be talking about all the latest news and we'll be talking about the latest sort of potential new bots like Transbots, etc. And we'll be doing the usual Fanstoys in the Endo, Rohan's Corner, the GoBot fan, and pickups. Oops.
We've done it.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
What could go wrong?
Oh, news. Newsy news. Can we all see this?
Yes.
Yes. Let's hope this goes a little bit better than last week's news when I had some technical issues. So the big news, the hugest news, the best news is, of course, TFUK Con, which is happening on the 14th of May this year at the Apollo Hotel in Birmingham. And it's a one-day event all day on the Saturday and will be, feature such incredible Transformers luminaries as Ben's Collectibles, Ben Davison. Thew will be there doing a talk. Simon Furman will be there, which is fantastic as well. Jeff Senior, an unbelievable artist, especially from the G1 days, but even now. Bobby Skullface will be joining the entire con live from America. And most importantly, we will be there performing. Is that the right word? Well, we'll be there doing something live on the show,
I'll just
which will be
drunk.
well planned and thought out.
I'll be
In
watching you guys from the audience. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I'm
you-
pretty sure they've put us on. They put us on quite late in the day, so that could be quite dangerous, given
Yeah,
our track
it
record
is.
of drinking at these cons. It's,
Yeah, that reminds
this
me.
could
What do
pretty
they
much
mean
be
by
the end.
what do they mean by fellatio? I didn't understand what that meant.
I don't know. You give me the definition every day, it seems like.
It just sends you in graphic detail.
Yes.
So yes, tickets are available now. You can, if you wish to join us for this momentous and historic event, you can go to TFUK, Transformers UK, on Facebook and contact Luke Gardner or Paul Farrelly, and they will be able to give you the details on how to get tickets. Our very own Paul Farrelly, who is not with us, but I know will be paying special attention to this bit of the show. So there you go, Paul. I told you I'd do it. I've done it because it's awesome and we're going to be there. Anybody want to add anything, or have I pretty much covered everything?
Be there or
Yeah,
be
we're
square.
looking. Well, if you've got ideas about what you would like us to be doing,
So moving
outside
on
of
to
the
the next slide. Moving
Oh, the full Monty. Anyway,
on.
sorry, I have to move the slides on, don't I? I forgot about that. I was having a drink. More big news this week was the sad confirmation. I think sad anyway. Other people might not, but the sad confirmation that IDW are going to lose the Transformers and G.I. Joe license at the end of this year. It's been coming for a while. It's been rumored for a while, but we have now had confirmation of this, and it's been quite the topic of conversation on social media. And obviously, Jamie, I know you in particular, follow the comics. So, how are you feeling about this news?
Well, this will be most of our discussion tonight when we think about
Of course,
moving
yes.
forward. What do we want to happen with the franchise now? What do we think could happen? Who might buy the franchise? What directions might they go? What fears do some of the fans in the community have? What hopes do other fans have? So we'll be discussing that later tonight.
Cool. So we'll pick up more on that as we go on in the show. And then, of course, we had some Hasbro mainline reveals that Paul was particularly pleased with, because if there's one thing he does love, it's visible fists. And, of course, we have visible fists on the new Core Class Skywarp.
I think it's like you said, it's a £10 toy. There's only so much you should expect. And referring back to IDW, you know, they've had a 17-year run, which is wonderful. You know, quite awesome for that type of sort of franchise. So they've had a good run as well. But yes, you can see the fist, so Paul would be puking his guts up right now.
Is that transformed? Is that fist supposed to go into that peg hole?
No, it's not a peg hole. Well, it connects in. I can't remember. I've got Starscream here. Let me see if it's a peg hole.
I was going to say, won't the transformation be the same as the Starscream?
There's no peg hole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just hangs out there because fist, you know, flying punch. Who doesn't want that in a toy?
Yes. And sometimes when you're flying by someone, you want to, you know, not fist them, but, you know.
And then we've got him in box there. I mean, the box artwork for these does look pretty fantastic.
Don't you think it's starting to get very purple, though? We might start to get sick of that colour.
I don't mind the purple. Yeah, I'll probably by the end of it, I won't like it so much. But, you know, I'm a Decepticon at heart. Purple's my colour. It's my thing.
Skywarp, it has to be purple.
Exactly.
Purple's the new pink.
Oh, Iguanus, though. And I know, don't get me wrong. I'd much rather have had full-size kind of Pretenders, you know, Voyager size, actual Pretender shells that were, you know, more articulated, and then with the robot inside. And the robot could even be a bit, you know, crappy like the original ones were, but, you know, just a bit better articulated. And I wouldn't have minded that. But I still like this because it's Iguanus. And I remember reading about him in the comic books, and you couldn't buy him in the UK.
Yeah.
And my mate Mark, who lived around the corner from me, his uncle lived in America, and whenever he came to visit, would bring him just a suitcase full of toys, often Transformers that you couldn't really get over here. And he had Iguanus and all this. And when I started collecting, I'm sure I've told this story before. I contacted Mark and I said, "Oh, have you got all those Transformers left? Is there any chance I can buy them off you?" And he said, "Oh no, when I got older and I moved out, my parents just threw my toys away." Seriously, the pain was real. Still is.
How could they do that?
Anyway, Iguanus, there he is. Anybody else excited about this, or is it just me?
I'm very excited, and I know a lot of people kind of wanted Iguanus to be about deluxe size, if not Voyager. You know, because the Pretenders were very powerful, not small little runts. But if you're thinking about core scale to go with the core bots, then it works quite well. Either way, I'm quite happy.
Look, Paul. See
that one at least pegs in.
Yeah, it's got a purpose at least there. I mean, I quite like the fact as well that, you know, the vehicle mode is a little bit of that homage to the original Inner Robot vehicle mode as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to pick this one up because I'm not that bothered about Core Class. I know that people are saying that they're really good little bots, but it's kind of the scale thing for me. It's just they're a bit too small usually.
You get on the Legends band, Megan.
I can't. It's just too small. My hands are too big. I'm a Generations collector.
Well done. Well done.
Well played. Anyway, then we had the robot mode as well for Skywarp, which I'm not sure what that weapon's supposed to be.
Does that mean it's not
clicked together?
Well, it's not that. He hasn't got freaking null rays, has he?
No.
I don't think they've got
or
that.
At least not in the pictures, no.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
surely he comes with
what the hell has, bro?
Nope.
You're just like teasing you.
They'll stick him in an accessory pack.
Well, they're saying the third party is going to come out with some, but, you know, at what cost?
But in this case, they shouldn't need to, surely.
No.
You know, it'll cost more for the third party add-on kit than it will for the figure.
That little magnet thing he comes with apparently connects with one of Iguanus's weapons and also Hot Rod's to create, what is it?
Is it like
some
a
sort of mega sword? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which no one cares because he wanted fucking null rays.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
all right, take it down a notch, Jenny. But you are right. And then, now this isn't new mainline news, but I'm going to work on the assumption that we don't have Custom Corner this week ready to go. And I do know from having contact with the customizer who created this that you know, I did say, oh yeah, we'll put it on the show this week. So it is on the show this week. So this is.
I had it ready. I had it ready.
Did you? Did you really? You'll be able to show us that in a
minute.
You've
ruined it. Well, no, because you've.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
I'll just stop that there then, because Alexis has it ready to share. So Alexis, go.
No, I'm not sharing that.
Alexis, I don't see anything to share.
It's funny that. It's funny that. I'll tell you what. How about Alexis? I help you
lots,
out, and I'll
and
just do
lots.
it for you this time.
It's
you know,
it's
just
almost
this
like
time.
you're lying, Alexis.
Almost.
There you go.
Almost.
And
Anyway, so yes.
when you're done, my bed's a bit cold. Do you want to come warm that up for me as well?
Well,
Okay.
I can make a joke here, but I won't because Sam might be watching, and I don't want to upset. Right. So here's Erector, as done by the Cluttered Desk, and we saw this artwork. Was it last week or the week before? And everybody was really impressed, especially again on social media. People saying, "Wow, this is fantastic!" And Nathan at the Cluttered Desk has actually done it based on that very artwork, because the person, I believe, who did the artwork actually asked him if he could have a go at making it real, and he has. And
It's awesome.
I love it.
Superb work.
If Hasbro had released this, I'd have bought it in a heartbeat, without a shadow of a doubt. So, you know,
Hasbro need to hire people like Nathan. You know,
they do. I don't understand why they can't. You know, when they see some of the incredible work that customizers can do like this, I don't understand why they don't dip into that kind of that pot a little bit more. Because this wasn't, you know, a tiny job. There was quite a lot to do here, and he's done a great job of it as well. And two really good molds as well. Two really fun, good molds. The Ironworks and Pipes mold. Yeah, I love it. Custom head.
Pretty
there.
cool. If
Is it Hightower, the other
Hasbro-
part? Erector and Hightower, I'm sure he said, because obviously it's two bots, it's not just Erector. So I'm sure he said it was Erector and Hightower was the name of the other one. Yeah,
I
just
remember one of
awesome.
my
The
very
Rex-
first G1 figures, but I can't remember the name.
normally when the Erectors evolve,
Look
it's
at that.
normally with a high tower as well. Something quite a big tower involved with the Erector. But I was just saying it'd be really cool if Hasbro, like, I guess it like you could request bots, couldn't you? And you basically kit bash them, wouldn't you? You take the bots and create new bots.
that was
and
an
send them back
idea we,
into Hasbro and say,
discussed, didn't we? We said
Exactly,
it'd be really
Jamie.
great in the future if we could, you know, make our own bots. You know, get parts. You
No,
know,
no, no,
get them
but
fitted out in shops.
I get that. Like, what I mean is, though, for Hasbro to create new molds, they have a team of people which, like Nathan, which do this type of thing, and they would request Hasbro send me this bot and this bot and this bot, build it, flip it back into Hasbro. Here's your next release, Hasbro. Job done. All
And
that
of
good
course,
spare
we all
parts.
know and love the original. There it is.
G1, yeah.
Yes, the original, still the best. And there was also other late-breaking news tonight with TF Nation revealing another one of their guests, and that is Gary Chalk, which loads of people are going mental for, and quite rightly so. Being that
sultry eyes.
he has that relationship with so many different elements of Transformers as well. Obviously, Beast Wars, and then you've got Transformers Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, where he was Optimus Prime, and that's kind of like, you know, how I think of him, because
But he's
I
not
kind of
that
missed the
perfect. He
Beast
did
Wars thing.
voice the GoBots, you know. So
Well, so did other actors. I'm not going to hold it against
Ah.
him. You're coloured.
Are
You're
you
a better
gonna
man.
point when they announce him? Are you going to shout that out? Are you?
Yes.
If they,
No,
if
Frank
Welker was part of GoBots. That's all I'm going to say. Frank Welker.
Go home, Rock Lord.
that's it. That's it. You're
Anyway.
gonna get to the front of the queue, and Gary's gonna go, "What did you like me in, Jamie? Do you like me in Beast Wars? Energon? What was it?" And you're gonna go, "Go bots." He's gonna go, "Get out."
Oh, dear.
Gary will point to the door. Don't darken my door, Jamie.
How to get kicked out of TFN fast. And anyway, that was the mainline news. So let's
Short and sweet.
get on to some third-party news.
Be like the scene in. Has anyone ever watched?
Rowan,
Euro
go
Trip
get yourself a drink.
with Vinnie
forget.
Jones.
Do your taxes.
Is the United fan, isn't he?
Don't joke about that.
And oh yeah, I've got to do that.
Never
He's a
joke
United
about
fan, isn't he? And he
Okay,
gets off the bus and
third-party
goes,
news. You're on, Alexis. You're on. Go for it.
You like that, and then someone goes, "Oh look, it's a GoBot fan. Let's get him."
It's almost like you had a full bottle of wine during a Zoom call earlier on today.
It's almost like he thought he was telling a joke.
Almost. I nearly did. I gave a glass to Sam.
Alexis, if you're going to tell a joke, put it in chat for us so we can pretend to laugh and cue.
Oh, hang on. Let me just write this.
I'll
in
just
chat.
tell a funny one.
Don't leave us hanging
Yeah.
there. You're such a selfish bastard.
Let me
Anyway.
just taps away.
Come on, Alexis.
Transart, Rat, Trap, and is that his name? BWM07?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well done, Andy. You can read.
Is this of the Beast Machine rather than Beast
No,
Wars?
this is Transmetal.
This
You're
is-
joking, Alexis, but I'm doing better than you are.
Transmetal 1 Rat Trap Legend scale. So it's normally in the region of about £35. These things. They did the original Rat Trap in Legend scale, which was about £35-40. So, and again, about the same size as the core class Rat Trap that came out with Kingdom as well. So,
Sculpt
but obviously
work
much
looks really nice on it.
much better. Much better. Obviously, you're paying twice the price, aren't you? So it's a really good thing.
Brian
the
Boneborn
original
is
one was.
ragging on you, Alexis, in the chat. I just want you to know that. And
He
he's right,
always
though, but
is.
still.
What?
You're
He's
pissing off.
right.
They're
And
best
remember,
buddies,
his opinions matter
apparently.
to him.
Comes with a nice sword. There we go.
Nice one.
Sword of
Sword.
Fury.
What scale is this, Alexis? Is this like
Legends.
more
Legends.
Legends.
style?
He's-
I
so
wasn't
this-
sure
so
if it was
he-
masterpiece.
It's more like a
But no,
fucking
it's
spear,
legend.
isn't it? In a
Well,
sword.
I mean, depends. It depends how you class it, really. Because obviously, Beast Wars.
It looks like a fucking spear.
They were smaller,
I
weren't
think
they?
he's talking about the size, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like. It's not. Yeah, I mean, they were smaller, weren't they? If you look at the scale from Masterpiece, they were diddy ones, weren't they?
Mhm.
They were like. But again, they are in Legend scale. So.
Well, Raph is also a smaller character as well, right?
Yes, he is. Here we go.
Yes,
now
sir.
it's
Oh,
getting exciting.
yes.
Now
You're
it's
watching
getting
Nightmare,
exciting.
Han. You're right on the.
Are we actually saying that Fanstoys are going to complete a combine? Is this to complete a combine, or is this just to have
Yes.
another member?
No,
I
This
think
is-
I'll be
well,
quite upset if they complete.
they
the
have
combiner.
released.
No.
They have released Digibass. Oh, they're Digibass or like renders or prototypes. Look like prototypes, don't they? That looks real.
Mhm.
So of
I'm
the
assuming
last
they're
two,
prototypes.
Because
of
it
the
means I
last
should
two.
have got Fortress Maximus. Because I didn't think they would complete it, so I didn't bother.
You know
I'm
you're going to
most
find a way to
upset.
buy it anyway.
Fool on you, Lord Liddell. There we go.
Big fists.
So they've got the arms done. It's just interesting how they're going to do them. So everyone's saying that obviously they're going to be far too heavy. So they must have some super heavy ratchets in there. I was just thinking about their Mega Supreme, but imagine them obviously be heavier than that. So because their actual jets are looking around for it, I can't remember what they are now. They are bloody heavy. They're pretty. They're not small either. Like they are big, like Seeker size, obviously. So
They're a masterpiece, aren't they?
all diecast. Like this is the problem. Like in the sense, like they just weigh an absolute ton. I mean, their version of Maverick, which is the Silverbolt, when he's in jet mode, is longer. He's in Concord mode than their Fanstoys Jetfire, which is huge. So these look really good. I think we've got. Have you got the color images of these coming up? Which are the better ones?
I have many, many images that were sent to me that I downloaded because I do my job. But it depends
I
whether you
feel
send
like
them.
I'm
So
aging.
if you didn't send them to me, then they won't be in it. Anyway, we've skipped on
They were
slightly
there.
because-
So Fanstoys Gears. So variated.
Oh, we're going.
Fanstoys
We are
Gears,
moving on now. Sorry. I thought you still wanted to talk about Jester, but we'll move on. Go on.
No, we will when it comes to. Well, there's more of that. So Variator, which
There's
is
more,
Fanstoys
there's more.
Gears, and he comes with a number of different alternative faces as well.
I was going to say,
It's
why
quite
is he
good.
smiling? Gears never smiles.
That's
Yeah,
quite a
he does-
creepy
that-
smile.
I mean, it's
Not
a slight.
to
it's a slight
disagree with you,
upward lip
Alexis, but
position.
Owlfire doesn't seem to think he'll have much diecast to help stabilize the weight.
Oh, we have dissension in the ranks. You'll have to
There
have
we go.
words,
Well-
Alexis.
No,
Here
I'm a
battle,
man of-
here
I-
battle.
Hair.
I am a man of science. He is a man of beauty.
A hair off.
We are fine.
I'm sorry. Did you say a man of science?
I know all about the sciences.
You know what they're called.
I know about every ology there is. All of the ologies.
Oh,
I thought Owlfire did a very cool meme this week.
he
about
did a
that.
brilliant. It was very fun. Do you know what? I actually meant to download it, stick it with these, and I completely forgot of it. I
Good.
literally didn't get to sit down to even download the photos till about 6:45 tonight, and then like you
So
get them
who's
downloaded,
the top
and then
one?
kids to bed, and then straight up here. So I am very sorry, Arrowfire. I wish I'd downloaded that because it was genius and true, as we know.
Oh, even into
So that was me. I'm apparently this one.
Yeah.
I want to say that was Jamie. And I want to say that
Yep.
was Paul.
Yep.
And Alexis down here at the bottom.
Makes
There you
sense.
There
go.
we go.
So I'm definitely the happiest. And I think the less said about Jamie, the better. Anyway, you can punish him another time. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then we had.
There are better images of this as well, but then they released a load, didn't they? All the mini bots. So we've got a swerve on the left there. This is how you do a cliff jumper, Takara,
Yep.
idiots. And then pipes at the back there as well. Sorry if anyone from Takara watches this. We love you, really.
I mean, you were slagging off Takara like nobody's business last week.
Left, right, and
Probably a bit
centre,
late
yeah.
now.
That was the Alexis Austin.
We weren't though, Takara. We love you.
Yeah. Me and Andy, your biggest
Send us
fan.
stuff.
When you see them side by side, though, it's just like it's. I mean, it's like the train bots, isn't it? Like, you know, welcome to Kibbletown.
Go on.
this is-
Yeah, hold on to
this
that
is-
resentment, Alexis. Let it go.
I've got no affiliation to this version of Swerve, but he looks really cool. I imagine he'll be similar price to the other ones, which are about 110 to 130, depending on where you buy it from. You can buy the Bad Keep Swerve for 60 quid brand new. If you want it second hand, look me up.
Are you trying to flog something again?
Logging his words.
No. I'm not trying to flog that or the other season 3 mini bots, but they are for sale.
I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just pointing out they are for sale from me.
I need
Please
that
buy
banner
them.
across the bottom. I need that banner across the bottom, don't I? Jamie, find the banner.
People can buy them and they can own a piece of history, a piece of Alexis.
So these
There
are
you
just
go.
reveals.
There's your
at the moment.
selling point.
These are just reveals. There aren't, so they haven't released any. There's no real pre-orders yet for this. There's no real timeline for this. So if you look at the things we looked at last week, so Phantasm, Mirage, you got Jive of Jazz, and then who was it? Who's the other one? Last one we released last week. Was it Hoist? I think it was. I remember, they're all coming out at the end of this calendar year. So I imagine these potentially, if you look at the aerial bots coming out next, hopefully, fingers crossed, then we're looking at next year for these. But look at the color images. I mean, that looks like it walked off the TV, right?
Is that an actual color image, or is that somebody who's done it as a digibash kind of thing?
Someone's done it, but if you look at the way that they paint their figures, like you can see that's how they would be. I mean, you know, most people. I think there's a few people in the chat I can see here that was
not going to be pink then.
No. Why would it be pink?
I'm disappointed. Why not?
You can paint yours pink afterwards, Jay. You can paint any of your transformers pink.
because-
There's nothing wrong with pink.
If it
I'll
was
get
X
one-
Transbots, there'd be a pink
I'll get
version.
Nathan to do it.
If it was, you're right, Rohan. If it was extra transports, it'd be a pink version. Then we've got Viper, which is the other one. Skydive. There we go. Firefly.
Firefly, isn't it? Firefly,
Yeah.
rather. I
Firefly.
think they've changed his
Firefly.
name to Firefly recent years, but it's Firefly.
Yeah.
God damn
Yeah.
it, Hasbro.
So again,
Just
looks
put
really
Autobot
pretty.
in front of it or Aerial Bot for Christ's sake.
It's weird how it
It's
looks
not
cleaner than the cartoon version, actually.
Mm.
So, but yeah, pretty accurate to be honest. You can. crack on
And
if
there
you want.
was
There's
Slingshot.
no slingshot. There we go. So again, looking pretty good with his Maverick sunglasses on there.
I hated Slingshot in the cartoon. I thought
Yeah,
it was a
so
He
total-
was a dick.
He was a
dick.
proper knobhead. Sorry, but he was. I know it's not real life, but he was.
I felt like I had a
Damn that slingshot.
slingshot personally, but well.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did you just say there, Joe?
I
You thought
had
you
an
were a bit
affinity-
of a slingshot.
No, I thought I had an affinity with slingshot. You know,
Oh, right, yeah. Well,
I felt represented.
Well, I was just about to say he had small man syndrome, but anyway, moving on.
Oh, I look forward
Says
to us
the
all being
GoBot fan.
down, children, down. Anyway, let's move on.
How many times did Rohan get invited on?
Parkour. So Cliff Jumper here. I suppose this arguably is how you do a masterpiece style Cliff Jumper.
He looks pretty cool, to be fair.
It looks. I think it
Oh, it
looks
does.
better than the official version. I can see what the official
Anything
version's
would.
gone for, but it's. I don't know what. I don't know how that. Yeah, just they can't close a panel up, can they? For some reason, it's just sloppy. But I mean, the whole point is the price point of this is probably going to be about £5 more than the masterpiece,
Really?
or maybe £10 more. and yet the run that they have with the masterpiece would be a lot more, and you'd assume the materials and the factory prices and labor prices would be
How much are they both going to
better
be
for-
then, roughly?
normally Bumblebee was 95. So I think
So you're nearly
rig-
£100 for that Cliff Jumper.
that'd be 105, probably 110.
Wow. If you're buying it, good luck to you.
And just small hands.
And how much do you think this Fanstoys
How does that
one will
even
be?
work? That's the price. That's the price of Fanstoys. I think Cliff Jumper from Scarab 95. I think this would be about 110.
I think the insinuation with the small hands is that the masterpiece collectors have the small hands so that when they get a really big bot, it can make they feel like they've got something.
If you look at the price, look at the price of the other ones, the ones that came out before, like the bad cubes and the X Transbot versions and the MMC did one of these, and you can pick up one of those brand new for about 60 quid. Now I think it was about 70 quid it came out. So obviously that was 3 years ago. So,
and then this, which is Transbots, Bulkhead,
X Transbots. So X Transbots.
Can we get this?
Bulkhead.
Can we get this out of the way straight away?
What?
That's just Inferno with Bulkhead's head and the panels that make up the back of the truck lifted up behind. I mean, that literally is the Inferno, isn't it?
Well, they haven't. Technically, X Transbots haven't done an Inferno. They've released. They are releasing their Dante. Which is their Inferno. They are releasing the grapple. They are releasing about 6 different.
Well, yeah. Well, then if they're releasing their Dante, they've just used switch.
They haven't released. They haven't.
What?
But they
this
haven't
is not a technicality. This is
that
that fucking courtroom. Andy's point stands.
All the controversy.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution rests.
In fact, it's the only masterpiece Bulkhead, isn't it?
I think the interesting point some have made is, will they get the same grief or hassle that Hasbro did when they released their version of Bulkhead? Or people just hypocrites?
That doesn't, apart from the head, that doesn't really look like Bulkhead other than it's green. It looks like Inferno painted green and then Bulkhead's head stuck on it. So, if you like the aesthetic, of course, go for it.
What was the green? What was the green grapple called again?
Hauler.
Hauler.
Oh, we used to
love they're doing Hauler as well.
Yeah,
of course they are.
It's X Transbot. They're going to do 700 different colors.
There'll be a TFCon special as well.
The alt mode does look good.
Well, I mean, it looks good in the sense it looks like a military truck, like it's supposed to. But
it could also pass for Age of Extinction Hound as well, couldn't it?
Yes. I mean, that's kind of what I felt like they went with the Hasbro Bulkhead. Looked like it was kind of like, well, what if Age of Extinction Hound was actually Bulkhead? Boom, here he is. But I mean, the cab is just the Inferno.
It worked well with the G.I. Joe crossover stuff from TFC. Actually.
That could, yeah. I mean, if it's in scale, will it be in scale?
It would be 9 inches tall.
So is that a yes or a no?
Probably, because the big bots like the Prime and Megatron are about 12 inches, 15 inches, depending on what if you put all the packs on them. 12 inches without packs. So yeah, essentially.
Who doesn't enjoy 12 inches, eh? Right.
Several packs.
Is this? No, go on. I'll let you do this, Alexis.
No, go on. You have a guess.
You said it was First Aid for Mastermind Creations.
It is correct. Yes,
like it. Yeah.
In hand pictures. And he's standing next to. He's a medic. He's a medic.
I know, but come on. You say he's a medic. In Hasbro, they gave him a fuck off axe. Come on, man. I'm a medic. I'm here to save lives, and I'm going to chop the hell out of you.
That's for a surgery.
Yeah. What, with an axe?
He's a pacifist. You should have given him a little shield or something.
Amputated. He's not a pacifist, Rohan.
That's what he said in the G1 cartoon. I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe what comes out his mouth.
I don't believe what the character actually thinks and says.
I don't believe what comes out of
my official headcanon.
That doesn't count. My opinion counts. Oh no, shit! I'm sounding like Brian.
All right,
now.
Brian, calm down. We'll be getting letters from him. So there he is with an arm. Exciting times.
Yeah, same connection ports, which is quite cool. And here he is with his X Transbots counterparts. I must say, it's weird. Like the X Transbot's almost gone like for almost like a 2.5 real life aesthetic, and obviously MMC gone super toon. Like the paint just pops a little bit more on it. And X Transbots aren't badly painted. It's just a different palette, really. Like I guess it's more of a pastel versus cream. I guess.
I still think his legs look too long, which I realise is just because of the transformation it needs to be. But it just, I don't know, it just seems to, proportion-wise, the top part of his body, his torso, some might say, just seems a little bit too short. It's a bit like, I I love Earthrise Prime, but I still think the legs are slightly too long, which get slightly out of proportion compared to the Siege version. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time.
No,
And then
you're absolutely right there.
we had this,
Ah,
which is not
What's
breaking
this?
news, if I'm being honest, but I think it needs to be
Oh,
said.
I'm going home.
Oh, you are home.
Oh, dear. I love the fact that this is being shared by Jamie in some of the groups, and it's actually sparking debate. The Rock Lords and GoBots fans are crawling out.
Okay,
of the
let's
woodwork
just
to
put it out
defend
there. Rock Lords was probably the worst element of GoBots. Let's be honest. But
It's the one
Anywho.
most people most remember, though. So
yeah,
there you go. Oh, it does make me laugh.
Ambrosia.
Characters that turn into rocks. Who could ask for more? I can't
Hey, they could
understand how
roll
the line
down the
failed.
cliff. It was fine. Yeah.
If you've got a hill, your quid's in.
This will get the kids going. Rocks.
If you want to smash somebody's shop window. Anyway, and that was the news. I did actually have something else. I need to make a very quick apology. I want to apologize because Daniel Stevenson contacted us during the week, and he actually had photos of one of the Gordon Bennett, which one is it? Moon Studios Yukaze, I think I've said that right, which is the train bot, you know, the ones that you like. I think Alexis, aren't they? They're the like really clean ones. And he sent, because he's got it in hand, he sent a load of photos over and said, if you want to use any of them just to show it off on the show. I thought, oh, great, yeah, because, you know, probably not a lot of people have had it yet. And then I completely forgot. So I'm so sorry I haven't downloaded them. I might try, if I'm not listening properly, I apologize, but I might try and download a few of them at least just to show
And
a
we
bit
can
of
share
them
later. Yeah,
just because
no
I
problem.
don't, you know, I feel really bad. It genuinely just rushing around. I've had a mad week. We've had Ofsted in the school, and everything's been a nightmare. COVID ripping through the school.
After all, this is Transformers, the show Uncaged. We
yeah,
make our own rules now.
we do what the hell we want. Paul's not here. He's not even going to watch this.
So, I'm
in
gonna
the
do
chat.
so now we're going to be doing pickups, or as Alexis wrote, dickups for this week. Basically, it's all dick waving anyway.
We now return to the Transformers.
Can I go first?
Yes, you can, Andy.
Excellent. I've got nothing. Move on.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I've got to practice.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Do that again, shall I? I've got
Yes.
nothing. Move on.
Okay.
Andy
Oh,
style.
it's to me. Oh God. I'll just go next. I'll just go next then. Which is brilliant because I haven't got anything. I don't know.
Oh, just do an Alexis and make it
so
up.
well.
I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Right.
It's not the
I'm
first
just
time you
thinking,
said that.
You know, because I was like, why isn't Paul shared this fucking screen yet? No. Okay, so
One's not here.
this week, which it's not sharing. No.
No. Try again. You're in charge.
Right.
You have the
Share
power.
screen. Window.
You have the power to end this.
Oh, I've got to add it.
Whee.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I think I was still waiting for Paul to share it like an idiot.
Come on, Paul.
I'll get sharing it going, what are you
Damn
doing,
you,
Paul?
Paul.
So anyway, I did complete this actually way back in December, but I was really ill, like so ill. I really couldn't get out of bed. So I took a picture of all the completed boxes and just posted them up. And I've started to open the Transformers. I actually started to get about the 10th of December. So one of them has been Pterosaur, which I love that figure. You know, got a lot of great articulation, which I think owes a lot more to the transformation than design. But it is brilliant. His ankles are a bit weak, though, on a sort of ballpoint. But yeah, he's a very, very fun figure. You know, and very photogenic. If not
photography.
a bit red. You know? But yeah, and he's got that evil smile, hasn't he? He's like that smiling assassin, you know. And I do like that. You know, I think the face sculpt on that bot is particularly great.
You can sort of hear his voice coming out in these pictures. It's excellent.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is one of the iconic characters of Beast Wars, so it's a joy to actually eventually have him. And there's that for you
Oh.
again, Rohan. No. But anyway, so other things which I managed to pick up this week. Well, I picked up, during my hiatus, is I've got Shattered Glass Jetfire, big, huge, nice big bot, very nice and shiny, much more paint apps than the original Jetfire, and but apart from that, basically the same. But a nice, very good looking bot and good fun as well. I managed to pick up another Tigertron. Mostly because I forgot I'd ordered it from Hasbro as well. And I've also got Mutant Tiger Boy. I got Pipes, which everyone has got now, so I'm part of the Pipes family.
Pipez.
I got Starscream Shattered Glass, which is absolutely fantastic in hand. The white works really well. It's such a, if there's one bot, it deserves to be a Shattered Glass figure. It's Starscream. Looks really cool with his double swords. This is thanks to Alexis. He got me another Sharkticon for my Christmas, so that was absolutely brilliant because I haven't got enough Sharkticons. I love army building. And the last figure, which I've been opening, is Artfire. And I've still got some other boxes I'm working through slowly, so hopefully next week I will have that. Alexis, are you ready?
Yeah, always born ready.
Oh, good, awesome. Right.
What are we doing?
I'm ready to have a swig.
Yes.
He's not joking,
Okay.
is he?
So I've got some in hand. Okay, Dickups. So I've got some in hand photographs of the train bots. Here they are. Very cool. Moving on. What did I get? I got Thundercracker. No, Skywarp. There you go. MP Skywarp. He is the best of the bunch. They've done a good. They've done a good job with him. He. I'm supposed to show him. He's really cool. Like he's pretty. He's tight everywhere. Like, I think Thundercracker. I think of mine was the weakest. Skywalk though, he really is quite cool. Yeah, no issues with him at all. Out the box, everything clean, everything works. He's up there. I'll probably put an image on the group. So I haven't quite edited them out yet. But I've got the image of the three of them together now. So I don't know. I'm preferring the darker color scheme on these compared to the Deformation Space at the moment. I've got Deformation Space on route, so haven't opened them up yet. Just yet. So I got him as well. What's I get? I got I'll share this in the background actually. I got what's that? Primus? Is it Primus?
Cybertron Primus.
Cybertron Primus, yeah.
That's
the
it.
original
Because he works as the Autobot Moon.
Oh yeah, I think I did see some pictures of this. Or was it no? I saw a third party built one. Don't break it.
This is the most Alexis is touching the corner all this year.
I know. Well, with his hands anyway.
I'm going to show the photographs. I've got photographs. I can't work out right now. There's certain places you can put it, but it works pretty well. It's like the right sort of size and scale.
Try transforming it
for the moon. So I don't have the key. I don't have the key for that.
If you don't have the photos ready, we can always show it later if you want near the end.
Yeah, let's show it a bit later. I got these two from New Age. So the Beachcomber we showed recently, I've rebought these guys because I'm an idiot. Fanstoys rig as well. So you can see there, he's pretty. Apparently, he's really shiny. So I need to check out as well.
Especially in that plastic, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Transbot Jensen with the mini bots, which I know someone wants.
I hate you.
And
we all do.
Hang on. Does that come with the mini bot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't
As in
realise
that
that.
they're not actually transforming figures, but
Oh, right. Okay.
I should have New Age David as well, but Terry got the boxes mixed up, and I got a second Jensen. So I reached out to him and wanted him to come back. So Terry, you watch. I don't know what the fuck to do. So as I've said, what do I do? Right? I don't know how to get back to you. So if you're
well,
watching,
give
Terry,
me a
just get in
Jensen
touch.
and get a new David.
Well,
I was
I'm
going to
waiting for
say,
him to get
is
back in
this
touch,
leading
so-
up to him trying to sell it to us?
Yeah.
No, I just want to.
Not yet.
I think that's everything. I'm pretty sure I got some books. I got some IDW books, so I've caught up now on the phases now, so you can see the books just there. So I've caught up on the phases now. I've got the books.
Have you read them all?
Hermes said that, no. I said I've caught up on the purchases now. I'm thinking I'm on book 6. So oh, and I beat Ian to a second version 1 coot. Got that pretty cheap. So yeah, I was just sort of comparing this to like what we had like years ago with like Toy World. Like if you look at the sort of how just look at the engineering, how it's come on leaps and bounds. So like in
Well, but
figures,
Chris
so-
had a question for you. What do you think of the new MP Seeker mold?
I actually really like it. I think I prefer that over the Deformation Space. It seems to have a bit more character to it. I think the way you can get the poses and stuff. I know that he can potentially like have some QC issues. My Starscream, as I said, hasn't had any QC issues. The only bit on Thundercracker for me is like the wing which folds round, the wingtip that folds round under his main wing. It flops down, and if you've got one, you know what I mean. That's the only piece. But again, because it's pinned in place, 99% of the time you don't even notice it. But again, like the ankles and the ratchets for mine are okay. So I'm looking at the L-tongues. That's where they are. I have no issues with them. So I think that they are better. I do have the other ones. I mean, I'm in touch with someone, a customizer for a 3D printer, who's made a coronation kit for Deformation Space. So what I'm thinking about doing is having the Deformation Space Starscream for a coronation mode, and then having the other 3 Seekers and potentially just not having the other definition. But the thing is, I haven't got it with the wing filler kits yet. I know they have a cleaner look. I just don't know if it bothers me. If I'm going to take photographs of the Transformers from the back, it's like I could justify it, but it's just a lot of my extra money to have that for that one purpose, I guess.
The anguish of a Transformers collector. I can feel your
It's a
pain.
hard life. It is a hard life, isn't it?
How much is it for those kits?
What the coronation kit? Coronation kit. It's from so you have to. So it's a gentleman in the US.
No, I meant the wing filler kits for the Deformation.
Oh, the wing filler
Space,
kits.
yeah.
So if you buy them from Show Z,
Yeah.
then they're included.
Oh, okay.
If you buy them from somewhere else, then you're looking at about £20 each. So it adds a bit onto
There
the
was a
figure.
bit of controversy about that, wasn't it? That some people were getting the kits with their stuff and other
Yeah.
people weren't, so they were missing out for the
Yeah.
same price.
Yeah, exactly that. So
Unless you're rich, don't worry, we'll keep it secret. No one will know.
it's again,
between us.
it's
Just between us and a couple of million people on YouTube.
Exactly. Oh, and I got this is Dick Ups, and I did say that I had most of my things covered. So basically, all this stuff was I built up and came in one package because it's just all got released together, saved and posted. I got this as well, Generation Toy Jazz, which is IDW's version of Jazz. So so I've got him. So he's got a really cool like modern day Porsche. It's not in the box, but he's got a really cool modern day Porsche mold. So I got him. So I'm
The
really pleased
power of
about that.
imagination.
Oh, that's good. Oh, sorry.
He's just winding his
there's
mustache
always-
now.
Oh yeah, I got this guy as well. Got Hosehead.
Oh,
So-
awesome. I do
So I
like
got him.
that.
So
He looks cool.
and again, Fans Hobby sent me the vouchers again. So if anyone wants money off Fans Hobby, I'm not going to use them. So if anyone wants money off Fans Hobby, if you're spending over $100 or $250, let me know. I'll give you the vouchers happily. So
Is that you, Alexis?
I think so.
I think so.
Let me look around, see what else.
Right, moving on to Rohan Knight. That's been a fantastic haul you got this week, Alexis. You've been winning the dick waving competition here.
Andy's waving his finger.
So I was just going to say, somebody's put a comment in saying about how MMC Exodus doesn't have an ankle rocker because they'd been watching one of the old episodes and Alexis had commented on it, but it does have an ankle rocker. It's just not a particularly good ankle rocker, but there is one because mine has ankles that rock.
I wouldn't really call that an ankle rocker.
Of course not. Not by your high standards, Alexis. No, it's certainly not masterpiece.
Transformers fans,
Rohan.
right? This week I got some stuff which I pre-ordered about 7 months ago. It is a Studio Series 86 Wave 2, so Nor, whichever.
How many of them have you got?
Not as many as you, Jamie. And a Rekgar.
How many of them have you got?
Is that a second Rekgar?
Not
two
as many as
Rekgars.
you.
I got 2 Rekgars. And yes, Slag
Slug.
or Slug. With
How many slags have you got?
I only got 1 slag, and it's this one. It's this one here.
Just to be clear.
Do you ever tell him to shut it?
No. And the only other thing I got this week, which is a bit unique, not figure related, but sort of Transformers related, is these little mini cubes, which are going to serve as my Legends class Energon cubes. I've got some green ones, some red ones, some blue ones, and some purple ones. So you can put them in like.
Just be careful you don't think those are sweets and you
I was
choke
going to
on
say,
them.
keep them out of the hands of little ones. And
Yeah,
Alexis.
my son's already been trying to play with these.
There you
go. For example, if I pick up the lovely, any excuse to get this guy out, Magic Square Devastator, he can hold a couple of these bad boys in his hand.
We're not concerned about his health. It's okay, Rohan. We're just
There you
concerned about your child.
Thank you. And
How does he
Go on.
scale with your Studio Series slag? Is he the right size
Yeah.
for that scene in the movie? Like, can you transform your slag quickly?
No. He is. Slag is huge, right? I mean, leader class
If you
versus Magic Square.
I mean, if he
So
transforms
you're saying
him,
it's a
if
huge
he's on
slag.
dinosaur mode,
I'll transform him during the show.
He would be the right size.
transform him during the show.
Scene in the
Stop
movie.
haranguing him, Alexis.
No, it's just
He'll
Rohan,
transform him.
Rohan,
as you
Alexis
transform.
smells
fine. Trial by fire.
I'll tell you what, Alexis, the Mech Fans Toys version of Slag goes well with this guy.
Okay.
There you go.
I need to see proof of the other one first.
Finish him off, Alexis. Finish her.
I accept your motivation to transform him during the show.
That's me. Thank you very much.
Not get anything else then? No.
No, I like the way he like an MP completely ignored Alexis's last comment.
Did Alexis say something? I didn't hear anything.
I like it.
So,
I love it.
Andy,
It was,
you said you had some photos to share before we do fan toys in the end.
Yes,
Though.
yes, I have now downloaded some of the photos that Danvastator, you are Danvastator, aren't you? Yeah, Danvastator in the chat had sent. So this is Moon Studios Yukaza, and if I pronounced that wrong or said it wrong, I apologize. But I
Just do what any Englishman does. Just say it loud and
yeah,
slowly.
butcher the language because I'm English. God damn it, we can. So yeah, these are the in-hand images of him. It's still very clean.
Yeah. Much cleaner than the Takara version.
But is it as toyetic? I don't know. I don't collect either. Yeah. I mean, see, this is the thing, and I've said this on the show before. I'm, a transformer that turns into a train. Forgive me, but that, it doesn't rev my engine. That's just it's a train. Great. So I can't get excited about these bolts. But
Well,
you're
Astro
into
Train,
these, aren't you, Alexis?
Real
Yeah,
racer.
well, no, because Astro Train, he had the other modes, and even then, his space shuttle mode. Everybody like says, "Oh, well, it's got bits of the train on the side." I actually quite like the look of it. It just looked different, and made it stand out. So yeah, and it was an interesting train because it was like a weird kind of steam train thing. Anyway, seems to be quite posable. Again, Alexis, this is like this is your kind of bag. Is he there?
I have no affiliation to the actual train bots themselves, but it's raining.
Have you
right?
ordered
I'm
these?
always- yeah.
Because you said you were going to get these instead of the.
You showed them off.
I showed you the boxes. I showed
You showed
them.
us
Yeah, but
the
you haven't got them
box.
out, have you?
To be
No.
fair, we couldn't actually
No,
see
okay.
what the box was. It could have been anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, that was them.
Oh,
well,
it's
He
Cat
shows
just
us
Lizard.
like he shows us like 50 boxes a week, and I've got to remember that particular one. So
We don't want to see your vibrator boxes.
That's it. We'll put my dick in it.
that's 90% of them. There's very little, if anything, in the way of kibble there. You know,
I think
one
again,
thing.
they're very panelly. These things I've been told. So
Yeah,
but
well,
in a good
that
in a good way.
that comes up in some of the later photos. Daniel said that some of the panels just would not kind of really clip in right.
Yeah.
Which obviously is a bit of an issue
Patience.
with it. I suppose it's having to mess around with it and get it in the right position, I'd assume. But
Oh, that's always a bit of fun.
see, it drives me. It's something like that where you've got to muck about with panels to get them in the exact right. Yeah, I just don't have the patience for it. It just immediately like turns me off the robot. It get in the bin.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
3P seem to be doing it a lot these days, and
There you go. You can see,
Yeah.
obviously, a bit. And I think, to give Danny's due, I think he had spent some time, trying to get it into the right position. But it's
You
one of those
certainly need a
things.
spudger.
That's it. Spudgers for all. Again, you can see on the nose of it. But again, these things are often like that whole your mileage may vary thing, aren't they? You can, even with really fantastic mainline bots, you'll get like my wreck car when I got the Studio Series wreck car, and it had a bit of a loose waist, not terrible, but the left arm, if you posed him, he'd hold it, but like the slightest knock or the wind changed direction and his arm would drop, and it was just so bloody annoying when you're trying to post something on a shelf and you're like, fuck's sake, his arm's dropped down again. And I know that doesn't seem a big thing, but it is. And there it is in train mode, again with the weapon on the top, and leg mode, which is our favorite mode, obviously. Who doesn't love a leg mode?
Looks like he's going to be big.
Yeah. I mean, this thing's going to be a bit of a beast. I like the storage. I like, you can kind of get all the stuff put away. But again, for me, it's not really my kind of thing. If you're into the trains, and lots of people seem to be, there's a lot of people excited about these and the Takara versions. And then I'm sure Daniel's in the chat. Dan, was it magnets? It said it comes with a couple of magnets or something like that. I'm trying to remember now. I'm sure when you sent it to me.
Combined mode, maybe.
Yeah. But I like the guns. I like the weapons. I think they look kind of cool. But yes, so there we are. A relatively first look, even though Alexis has it, but it's still in a box at that Moon Studios figure. So thank you very much, Dan, for sending those. And I mean, again, is anybody else planning to try and pick these up? Like Rohan, would this be something you'd be after?
I'm tempted, I am, but the price point and the size, I just don't know where I'd put them. And like Alexis says, I don't really have any affiliation to the characters.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. Train bots are cool because they're so rare, like you said, Andy, and then probably because nobody likes them, like you said.
Well, it's like, you see, everybody keeps saying to me, like, Ian's always going on, oh, come on, you've got to get Black Zarak, you've got to get Black Zarak.
Yeah.
But it's like, sorry, that side, isn't it? I've got my big Scorpion bot that I absolutely love, and he is the character I love. Black Zarak is somebody I don't even think I found out of Black Zarak till I was like in my early 20s, so I don't have that connection to it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's great. Again, loads of people who've received it are all loving their Black Zaraks, and that's great, but I just don't feel any desperate need to get that bot. Maybe along the line when it's reduced to like 50 quid.
Okay,
we've got some Tesco's.
We've got some pictures for you for Alexis to share, and then hopefully we'll have Fanstoys innuendo.
You're
there
right,
you
by the
go.
way,
It works. It does work. It does work.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yay.
It does work. It does work. I got another image as well. So
Is that moon-based one or moon-based
how much did you
for some reason I
pay
can
for that
show one at a
Primus?
time.
How much did you pay for that
would?
Primus? Because they've gone up in value quite
They
a
have.
lot in recent years. They're not
Yeah.
cheap to buy. So how
I
much
sold
was
mine
that
for
one?
a lot.
40 pounds.
How much?
40.
40.
Oh, 40.
It's pretty reasonable, yeah.
40 is
There you
not
go.
bad
Next
for that.
picture.
I might
There
have
you
a
go. So I
cyber
think
key if you need one, Alexis.
Ooh, there you go. I think I it's only for planet mode. I like it for this moon mode. That's what it's for.
Have you got any
I've
photos
I've
of Unicron in robot mode, like attacking it a bit like Cybertron?
I also, I do. Yeah, let me
Funny
just,
that.
get,
You
get one up
just
there.
load those up, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, keep
I'll wait.
loading. It'll be like
We
dial
can
up.
wait.
Here it is.
Still
There we
loading.
go. There we go.
Yeah,
That's
boy.
you look around. Oh no, that's just fun. That's just the
Oh, easy
There we
mistake to make.
I thought he was
Keep
going to
That's
show
where
us
they are.
what
That's where-
he was
that's-
vlogging.
toys. That's where they are on
We've
my
got-
shelf. As you can see,
all
I think they
night.
got a lot of character. Lot of character.
25
I'll try one
pounds,
more. I'll
30
try one
pounds.
more. Okay.
Are we going to be doing fan toys in the end or soon?
So we will be in a second. Yeah, here we go. Last one. Here we
Well,
go.
you're going to get infected
Could
with
you
the
put
plague.
something in the same folder? I know it's an IT
No,
skill, but
because
No,
that
I
was
did try. I
preparation
did
and
try.
He
It
was
didn't
too
work.
busy
I did
drinking a
try.
bottle of
I did
wine. You
try.
can't possibly
I did
prepare
try.
things. He's had a
Literally,
busy day.
I did this 5 minutes ago. So leave it alone. Right, there you go. There's Skywalk.
That's not
I think
Unicron.
he's oh, isn't it? Oh, well, fuck it.
I think Alexis is approaching DEFCON 5 of getting drunk, so we best get this.
Yeah, move on.
Innuendo.
Oh, that was fun. Is it time for
Fan toys innuendo.
Fanstoys innuendo? I can't
Fanstoys
wait for
innuendo.
this. This is going to
There
be
we go.
Alexis, you need to
awesome.
see
It's
it.
not going to be a fans toy spot, is it?
Well, I don't know, because Alexis is a bit of a stickler about this. Whenever Paul puts on a bot that's not a fan's toy spot, he gets a bit aggro. So
I know he
let's
does.
see.
That's why he's
Let's
going to do it.
Oh, that worked. Here we go. There we go.
What?
That's the way I like it. There we go. So this
And the picture is a clue,
is-
correct? Just like Paul's pictures.
Indeed,
Are clues.
this is for those keen viewers. This is the Strictly winners, or Anne Marie and is it Giovanni. I think they won Strictly 2021. So, yeah, off you go.
What's the clue?
What's the clue?
This is the clue. The picture's the clue. The picture's the
Dancing?
clue. No, the picture.
Dancers.
I have
The
no
dancers
idea.
is the clue, or strictly.
So
Yes,
what fans toys come
well,
out with recently?
It's about being together, and
Aerial bot.
Combiner?
Superion.
and coupling and stuff. So
What do they come out with? That goes together?
Lane.
it's fans
the
toys.
emphasis
Think
on
of
cup?
something.
Is Chrome
I'm not-
toys and eject? I don't know. Chrome
Is
toys
Is there a
and
fans
eject?
toys cup?
Is it Gears and Swerve?
Nope.
Yeah.
Coupling. I know Springer and RC.
Don't
Hot Rod and
think
RC.
too hard on that one.
Can't think of.
Because that was a really crap clue.
Yeah, 'cause
You
this is
realised you've led us
usually
down
Paul
the wrong
goes
path.
through like a few things, and then we
Oh,
get
Paul
to
has a
something
whole methodology.
totally
Don't get me
nonsense.
wrong.
Okay,
it's
well,
usually
yeah.
nonsense, but
If you
he's
think
got a
so, it's about Strictly is all about.
If I didn't know
you
better,
about-
Alexis. I
about-
think you just made this
about
up.
dancing, and it's about
Blaster? Is there a
coming
blaster?
together and
Soundwave.
winning, and a bit of
Winning.
music in there. All the sort of things that motivate you. And,
Jazz.
but, you think that it doesn't motivate you. So sometimes you get in if you didn't win, you might get stroppy as well. So
You might
you
go
know,
Mr.
and
Motivate.
then coupling as well is also a view, because you have a couple and you come together as well.
Rodimus and Hot Rod.
So no,
Ugh.
The two.
Cup and Hot Rod. Cup and RC. Cup and Springer. Cup
No.
and any.
I'm just going to
I
say
don't
bot
know.
now.
you're not getting anywhere near it. I don't know what the hell is wrong here.
I know.
Paul's gonna be
It's
so
almost like the
disappointed.
clue shit. It's strange, that isn't it? It's almost like
Right.
the clues aren't helping us.
Huffer.
Upper
That's-
and pipes.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Oh, Huffer. Yes. Who said Huffer?
Jamie.
Jamie said Huffer.
Yay!
Almost ready. Hey, wait, disposable nipples. But
I
anyway.
have no idea why it's right, but
That was just a coincidence.
How
It
is
was
that?
like just
What's that
before I
gonna do
thought
with
about
anything?
it.
If you don't,
Go on,
win, you
explain it
get.
then.
If you don't win, you can gain a bit of a half. And
oh god.
obviously,
Oh my
Huffer,
sweet
Huffer,
Paul,
Huff-
come back, Paul.
Huffer
got
Gears and
couples,
Swerve.
Huffer
What?
couples to the trailer. So
What? That's a
and you
very
got-
different
you're-
type of
you're that-
coupling.
there you go. And like, they're a
That's just
couple, aren't
What do you
they?
mean?
One, one's
That's not a
one's
great
taking the lead. One's taking the. It's the, show the picture of it, Jamie. One's
Okay,
taking the
this
lead,
is.
you know. So
Oh. Anyway,
Thank
cheers.
God
That was good.
it's now time for.
there you go. Hey, so one's
Whoa,
taking the lead,
just
while the other
Alexis.
one's sort of like, and he's just lying back, and it's like, yeah. There you go. Like Paul never left.
Where's the sad
And-
trombone when you need it?
It's died. It
I'll
lost
do.
the will to live.
There you go. See?
Rohan, who is this guy? Rohan, the one and only.
Should we still be here?
Rohan.
Everyone just mute.
Well, the Row is back on the show, and to celebrate this monumentous occasion, I thought there's only one thing we can do, and that's to continue last week's theme, Till All Are Fun. And what do I mean by this? What makes Transformers collecting fun? Specifically, a conversation that I was having with Alexis when he came over and invaded my house a few weeks ago, and then again with Jamie and Andy last week after the show. We were discussing how do you decide which Transformers you're going to buy in the upcoming lines that you collect. When you're looking at, for example, Generations and the Legacy line, which characters or which figures do you decide to buy and why? Is it down to the fact that you like the aesthetics of a character? Is it down to the fact you have some sort of affinity or affiliation with that character from the show, from the comic, from past incarnations of the character? Is it purely down to the fact that you need to add another Autobot or Decepticon to your ranks? Or is it to do with the alt mode and what kind of vehicle they turn into? Maybe it's down to the price point. You know, some of these figures aren't cheap. And many people have commented on me and the fact that I actually often do sell off older figures from my collection. In fact, I had a cull last year where I actually sold off pretty much every single line between Generation 1 and Titan's Return. And many years ago, I also sold off all of my world's smallest Transformers, my alternators, my Binaltechs, my Masterpiece figures. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey. If we go back to 1984 to 1989, when Generation 1 was in its prime, and I was just a wee little thing, we would actually pick up all sorts of Generation 1 figures that we could, but also Generation 1.5, Generation 2, Machine Wars, and all these other bits and pieces that came in between, which, to be honest with you, potentially we didn't really have any affinity to the character or to that toy. We just picked it up because it had Transformers logo on the badge. And then fast forward into the Beast Wars era, we really didn't get on with the toys, so we decided actually we're not going to collect all of these. 2000, 2001 Beast Machines, even worse, we didn't collect a single Beast Machines toy. 2002 RID hit, we really did get back into it, and we took a trip out to the States. We picked up so many of those figures from the States and brought them back in our suitcase. And then 2003, when Armada came along, we thought, oh, this is interesting. Not quite as good as RID in the sense that we picked up all the vehicles from RID. We didn't pick up any of the beasts. However, in Unicron trilogies, they seem to be going back to the sort of core. And we pretty much picked up every single character that came out in that series. This was about the time we were starting to pick up more of our Generation 1 collection that we had missed from the 80s. We were deciding to pick up more of the characters just that came in the series. This was a decision that I made. I've got an affinity with the characters from the cartoon series, and so I'm just going to collect those characters. And so we came along to Transformers Animated again, started picking up most of those, but they actually ended up staying in the boxes. So when it came to Transformers Prime, I looked at the toy line and I thought, do you know what? No, I'm not really that interested. And then Combiner Wars hit and I was like, oh god, this line sucks. So I just made the conscious decision to say, actually, I'm not going to collect any of those. When Titan's Return hit, I looked at the figures and I thought, do you know what? These look more like G1 aesthetic to me. There was scale, there were characters that we hadn't seen for a long time in the main line. And so I started picking up pretty much all of those. And it got to the extent that I picked up all the characters that I really wanted, all the characters from Season 3 and Season 4. And I remember walking into a bargain shop, B&M stores or something like that, and picking up the two-headed dragon character. I thought, $7.99, I don't need it, I don't want it, shall I buy it? It still sat in the box, shouldn't have picked it up. But you get into that mode of completionism. And the same can be said with third party as well. In the early days, I was starting to pick up fans' project figures, and you get sort of rolled down the hill a little bit. The eye gear as well. I didn't really like the aesthetic, but they were good at the time. So moving forward into War for Cybertron Siege, I said, right, that's it. I'm going to be very, very concise here. I'm just going to pick up the figures that I want, the characters that I enjoy, the updated Generation 1 characters from the show, but I wasn't cutthroat enough. Definitely not. Ended up picking up other bits and pieces that I didn't want. Earthrise was definitely more cutthroat. I definitely picked up just the ones that I liked, and Kingdom even more so. I didn't pick up any of the Beast characters in Kingdom, just the G1 characters. And call me a G10 or whatever you'd like. I do the same for third-party Legends and Masterpiece figures. So that's my take on it. I'm still going through my collection and culling off things that don't really fit into that. What about all of you? It'd be good to know what your collecting habits are. Do they still bring you fun as a result of that? Or are you still being a completionist? Or some of those aspects that I mentioned at the beginning, an effect on your collecting habits, things like price, things like articulation, do they have an impact on how you collect? For another week, I've been Rohan. Back to me in the show.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Nice one. Thank you,
And
Rohan.
you're muted, just like Paul.
Yeah.
Keeping his
Paulisms
spirit
continue.
alive with us.
Thank you, Rohan, for another excellent video. So now we're going towards what do you call it? Foreplay.
Oh shit.
Yes, foreplay.
What are we doing for foreplay?
Foreplay.
I've heard of the word before.
Well, this time, we've decided is a sort of, because of like the sad news about IDW, or good news for others about losing this Transformers franchise as well as the G.I. Joe, we've decided to pick our favourite IDW versions of our Transformers from our toy collection or articulated model collection.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
So who wants
all
to
good.
get in there first? Who's Randy for some action?
Look at this ankle rocker.
Right. Oh, shit.
It's foot wiggles. It's foot wiggles. It's not. You can't.
Oh, Alexis,
it tilts out. It doesn't tilt in.
You
doesn't
tilt
tilt
out,
in.
but you don't tilt in.
Okay, so
Right.
Alexis, is going.
Alexis, are you going first then?
No,
Off you go.
no, I'm
Go.
not.
Well, you're holding a bot, Alexis.
I need to have a. I don't want this bot though. It's not the bot I was going to choose.
Why the fuck did you pick it up?
Because I was reading the comments and I was just looking at the ankle rocker comment that Andy called out. So I thought I'd
There
address
is an
that.
ankle rocker, though. You can't deny there is an ankle rocker. It might not be a very
Yeah,
good
the wrong
one, but it's
way.
there. But it's there.
Not really.
It's still there. You can't.
Okay, who actually wants to go?
Do you want me to
Andy.
go first? Yeah,
Yes.
I'll go first. I don't mind. All right. Oh God, I'm suddenly very, very on the screen. Right. I've decided. Oh, slightly surprisingly, thank you. That's better. I'm going for Getaway. Now, I could have gone for several characters because there's so many great IDW versions of Transformers and their characters, at least anyway. And I wasn't gonna, but then I thought, you know what? Fuck it, I am, because Getaway is one of the most evil bad guys in Transformers history, I think. And he's just brilliant for it. And I loved reading that stuff, even though it wasn't the way I remember the character. I loved that whole story arc because it was quite surprising and it kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm just going to share, if Jamie doesn't mind, a few photos while I'm talking to try and demonstrate my point. If I can find them. Where's all? I've got so many bloody things open here. It's ridiculous. I'm an old man.
Too much,
right.
too much Pornhub.
There's no such thing, Alexis, and you know that. Right. So Getaway. I don't want to say too much because if you haven't read it and you're reading it, this could be extremely spoilerific. In fact, I actually took photos out that I was going to use, or pictures out, I should say, because I knew there'd be spoilers for at least one person who's on the team and possibly people watching. You should know by now, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, you should know that Getaway is a bad guy. Shut up, Alexis. You should know that Getaway turns out to be a bad guy. It's not immediately obvious at the start, but it becomes very clear. And he is possibly one of the most hated characters in like the history of certainly IDW and maybe Transformers amongst fans. He obviously was involved in a mutiny. Spoilers again. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, just mute for about 5 minutes. He was involved in the mutiny to get rid of Rodimus and all those, and Megatron and all those who were sympathetic to them. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I was reading it, as much as I hated the fact he was doing it, I couldn't deny that there was a logic behind it. And the fact of the matter is, so many other characters agreed with him and were part of, this whole mutiny thing. He was able to take down Thunderclash, for Christ's sake. Now, come on.
Could I just interrupt for a second? Alexis, you could just switch off the sound.
Why? What's he doing?
You
remember
in his ears.
When I'm you could just press mute, Alexis. You're God. You sell computer stuff. It's like talking to my mum. Just mute it. No, press the mute button.
Are you finished?
No, still going.
Which one's?
Close your eyes as well. Leave the room if it'll
I
help.
like looking at the pictures.
Come back in about an hour. Anyway, there's Getaway. And he took down Thunderclash, which, if you know what Thunderclash is like, he's like ridiculous. He is the guy. And he managed to take him down. I like the toy. I don't think it's perfect. I think, the issues that there are with the mold are there. Yeah, there is an ankle rocker. So, I think the issues are there, but the character is just fantastic and was written so well and so evilly in such a kind of subversive way. You kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't kind of recognize what was happening at first, and then you start to realize like the way he manipulated Getaway, not Getaway, sorry. No, it was not Getaway, he's Getaway. The way he manipulated Swerve, sorry.
Okay.
And all that story, which is what a big part of the reason why he's hated so much, and rightfully so. But he's a great character, written in a fantastic way. And ultimately, when we think back to the Lost Light comic book series, you're going to think to yourself, right, who was the most interesting in some ways and evil character that we got? And it wasn't who you'd expect. It wasn't Tarn necessarily, who, by the way, I fucking love as well. But I didn't do because I think Jamie might. No, for me, it was Getaway. And even here, Gracie, it was Getaway. So yes, my IDW character / bot of choice for this week, at least, is IDW Getaway or MMC Exitus, if you are wanting to pick up that bot.
Thanks, Andy. That was most excellent. Rohan, you're next.
Oh, good choice, Andy. Well, as everybody knows, I am a massive fan of IDW. It's up there right underneath GoBots. No, honestly, I really couldn't stand IDW, to be honest. I've never read any of the comics. I don't have a clue what any of it's about. I have chosen probably the only IDW-styled figure in my collection, which I got from Mr. Matthew Small a few months ago. So thank you, Matthew. It is, of course, Thrilling 30s Sandstorm, and I presume he's IDW styled. I mean,
yes,
look at him. Yes,
he
is. He is. Thank you, Andy. And the reason why I picked this bot, I actually had the Springer mold, which everybody gushes over all the time, but I just didn't get on with it. It wasn't too accurate for me. But Sandstorm is one of those characters who just doesn't actually get a lot of remolds or new versions of him. And so I think we've had 2 Sandstorms since Generation 1 ever in the main line. And so I just had to get him because look at that color scheme, it's so cool. And obviously with the big wheels and whatever. I've never transformed him because, well, I probably should, but hey, I've only had him for a little while. And he does have some issues with stability. He's always falling down. But I like him. So there you go. And he's quite rare as well, apparently. That's my choice. Yeah,
he is. It's a great figure, that as well. A little bit back heavy sometimes, so it's a little bit hard with posing. But I love the design of it.
Are you ready, Lord Alexis?
No, are you ready?
You have to batter me up. Yes.
Awesome.
That's not what I've heard.
I can't take slack from you until you show me that anchor off, which isn't there.
You can't take the slack. That's not what I've heard either. Anyway, go on.
So I've gone for IDW inspired true hot Rodimus or Rodimus Prime DX9 carry because this is inspired by IDW fan artwork of what Rodimus Prime would look like if he actually got the Matrix and transformed in the same way. But IDW stylized, and he's fucking awesome. He's such a secure bot. He's one of my favorite bots. He's just up the top there. I've got like a little shelf for like my favorite bots, which has got like Orion, MMC Orion Pax, Death Head. I've got what's it called? Fortress Maximus from Perfect Effect, and then this guy, and he's just a super solid bot, and he's the same size as what Rodimus Prime is, like the MP version, but he's huge, like haunches, these wings. He didn't miss trap day, did he? You know, he definitely does a lot of pull-ups. So
someone wanted to say, is this actually based on IDW?
Yeah, it's not. It's somebody's design that's supposed to be like in an IDW style, but it's not from IDW.
Ooh,
no, but it's IDW style. IDW style.
He's gone rogue.
My bot. It's my bot. So, and
It's
the
quite
really cool thing
impressive,
is, when he transforms back into his Winnebago, he actually the same size as the original G1 Winnebago. So he's actually it's mass shift. It's amazing. Like in this, he does that because obviously the MP version transforms into the car own, and if you look at the Kingdom version, which actually has a bigger alt mode, transforms to something probably a lot smaller. So I'm going to be doing a comparison eventually. It's inspired by Ian, the Arrowfire Hair, to compare this with the MP version and the Kingdom version, because I think it's interesting. So I'm sure the whole world will know about that. But he's just a super solid bot, and this is his target master. So this actually transforms into a pretty cool target master as well. So it's pretty good that actually got his full sort of like rifle as well in there as well. So, and he's got the Toy Hacks stickers on. So I got this guy second hand. You can buy him. He's on Evil Bay for around, if you're lucky, you'll get him for about £95 to £100. If you pay the sort of full asking price, which sometimes you can, he's about 120. But he's a super solid bot. DX9 have always made simple solid bots. They remind me so much of like MMC, but they're just a little bit more MP compared to IDW in that sense. But this version. They did this version, and they did DX9. They did what they call their Terror, and their Terror is a black version, which comes, instead of coming with a rifle, comes with a shorter gun and a scythe, which looks pretty cool. So I really like this. I really like this. So my version of IDW inspired is IDW inspired Rodimus Prime.
Thank you, Alexis. We seem to have lost Rohan. Rohan's gone.
He was so upset.
I'm here.
He's back. He's back.
The roguish nature of Alexis's choice. He left.
Well, my IDW character inspired, because it's from the fucking comics, is
Don't hold back, Jamie. Don't hold back.
is MMC Thunderclash, and this was my first foray really into third party, and as I call him, de facto Chug, because it scales with the Chug, especially a character of Thunderclash's stature, and I just loved it. I remember, I think it was one of the first Transformers I tried taking photos with, and it's a very photogenic, easy bot to take photos, because the colors really strike out. The molding's great. It's got nice sharp edges. The details immaculate. A very simple transformation. It's almost like you've got that masterpiece quality of looks, but the Chug ability to still be a fun toy to transform and pose. The character itself, I really don't know much about Thunderclash, although I'm looking forward to reading up in the new iteration of IDW Records and the new version of IDW to see what he's like compared to the old version of IDW, which will only last approximately another year now, because IDW sadly lost its franchise of Transformers. But yes, here we have Thunderclash, a very good, heroic, nice guy, Autobot, who sadly I've now learned his fate thanks to Andy's spoilers. I was just getting up to that as well.
No, you didn't necessarily learn the fate. Let's just say that. All I said was
Okay,
he took him
okay.
down. I never said
Lovely.
he killed him or anything.
You
Lovely.
didn't take him
I'm
out.
I'm
Yes. Not
I'm about the
providing
same
you.
place, Jamie.
So anyway, so there's my Thundercast. So now we're back to the discussion, and our discussion is meant to be about IDW. Well, the fact it's lost the franchise, and think not being too upset because IDW did have it for 17 years, which is a hell of a run. But thinking about what the future holds, what are the fears, what are the hopes, what are your promises, what do you not want to happen, what do you want to happen, and most important, are we going to make sure to give these things a chance, let them settle, and what do we think the people, the companies who might actually go for it?
Well, you've built that up really.
We now return to the Transformers.
I think we're all
Okay,
looking forward to
listen.
GoBots, aren't we? You know, the new GoBot story.
Don't
that
steal
we're gonna
my
get.
thunder, yeah. That's all I've got to
I knew you
contribute
were
in this
gonna do it.
conversation.
I knew it.
Nothing else.
So
I'll
is
stop
this a common thing then for like publishers to lose? It's the publishers, not the writers, right? It's the publishers. Is it a common theme for the publishers to lose the
I don't know
rights?
because like
do they do they actually own the stories, or do they actually own the right to publish the stories? The print, they own the ability, they own the right to print, but the stories still live with the company. Like
No,
Takara
I don't
or
think
writers,
I don't think that's actually the case.
I
I
don't
think
know.
they write for the franchise. I think there was a big discussion on the internet about a consortium of people who bought a book. I think it was June, and because it was like one of the first published of June, or apparently relaunched June, they thought they owned the rights because they owned the book. Sadly, that's not the case, So yes, it still sticks with Hasbro.
So they own all the stories, and Hasbro do.
I would presume so. I would presume that IDW probably
Okay.
has some clause where they're allowed to reprint the stories if they choose.
Yeah. So
I think
I
Go
don't
on.
see what the issue is, because again, if you've got the same, if you can obviously, the writers are freelance, so you can hire the same writers can still write, and again, it's just a case of let's get a new front end on it.
but it might not be the
potentially
same
new
writers,
artists.
might it? It might be completely
Well,
different people because
why-
the new company might want to bring in different people. They might want to take it in a fresh, different direction. I mean, IDW took it in a different direction, and when they took it over, there was a lot of suspicion, especially because of what had happened with Dreamwave beforehand and how that had all gone, down the pisser and the rest of it. There was a lot of suspicion, and some people were like, "Well, I'm not sure about this IDW getting licensed," and 17 years is one hell of a stint, to stay in there and to weave. It wasn't all complete gold, but a lot of it was, and I think that's what some people are worried about. And I think it's natural to, is right. Well, what is the next iteration going to be?
I think to your point, there are two elements to discuss here. One is celebrating what IDW has done over those 17 years, as Jamie said, and as Andy said, they've done a lot. They've brought new storylines, they've brought new character arcs, they've given a lease of life to certain characters who never really had some in the past, and done things in different directions that we may not have even considered. But at the same time, now is a great opportunity to draw a line under the sand and say, okay, we've done that. Now we're going to try something again, absolutely new, in a new direction. Maybe at a new target market, who knows?
I mean, I think, me personally, when I look at IDW, I think they've got to be very proud of the history they've had. They've taken characters which would normally be token characters and established them and gave them a fantastic storyline and surely made these characters count. We talk about words like woke, these things are overused sometimes. And the point was with IDW, they proved it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if you can tell a good story, you can push any social message that you want or anything, a good cause. And that's the gift of good writing. People will lap it up. And I think the trouble is we've got into a situation now where a lot of writers are not very good. So when they start to write stuff, they almost feel like they're spoon feeding the audience, and that can turn people off. And I think the trouble is, just from reading social media, is that there's going to be so many camps who are going to be ready to jump on this new franchise when it launches, because it's going to be like discourse theory. They're going to be, people see patterns, and the minute someone thinks, oh my God, they're talking about social issues too much, or there's too much masculine fighting here, they'll be imprinting those patterns that they see and projecting on it far too much. Chill out, let them find the time, let the good writers shine. Doesn't matter if they're a bad writer, if they're a bad writer, let's see if they'll learn and adapt and change. But do not jump on them. Do not make them so scared that they're too fragile to try something new. Because when you think about it, the good thing about Transformers fandom originally with IDW is they love those stories. They grew to like these characters. So hopefully whatever new franchise comes, they'll do the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it would be. Go on. No, you first.
I was just going to say, I think it'd be nice to see a couple of crossovers with some of the characters that we're getting out in some of the newer lines these days, maybe making an appearance, or something to do with, dare I say it, GoBots, or some other kind of franchise crossover, which will give us some new aspect on what we've had. Don't get me wrong, I think what they've done is brilliant, but again, like coming back to the point, try something new, it'd be nice.
I think I think you're downplaying the GoBot influence we've seen. I mean, remember Megatron Origins when Psykill gets brutally murdered in the gladiator pits? I mean, awesome. There's been GoBot representation. It's there.
Not enough.
I think you're always going to get that feel when something restarts. You had this when they kind of rebooted IDW stories anyway, and you've just got to give it a chance, haven't you? Like Jamie said, you've got to let the writers have a chance to tell their story before you jump down the next. And as for the social issues thing, I hate it when I see people saying, "Oh, you should be keeping politics out of these comic books, the Transformers." All comic books go all the way back. They've always told some elements of social history and storytelling and stuff like that. So there's always going to be something.
See, I always think it's almost like it's not what they're really saying. What they're really saying is your writing's awful, and you feel like you're just preaching rather than telling an interesting story. And that's what they mean usually by they say, oh, you're just putting politics. Because often what the writer's doing is he thinks the message is more important than the good writing. And they sometimes hide behind the message rather than good writing. But you've got people like James Roberts who were writing about issues they went and properly researched and listened to people. And they learned, they made some mistakes, but they didn't get crucified from it. And I think sometimes a lot of people benefit from having good PR writers or having a good ability. And sometimes I think in social media, unless you're a narcissist or got thick skin or just stupid, you're not going to survive because people really go for the throat. And I think sometimes the vernacular, the phrases they'll use, as I say, might seem like, oh my God, they're complaining about politics again. When really you try to decipher it, they're just complaining about the fact that they feel like they're getting preached at, or it's poor. Because as you said, comics have always been woke. Comics have always been fighting about good issues. It's just now sometimes I think the issues are getting confused about what are really good. And some are very, very centric. And the comics, when we grew up, we were lucky to have the British perspective as well as the Americans' perspective. And it seems now we're getting a very much one-sided Americans' perspective from a fractionated country like America.
Oh yeah.
Other writers like Furman and Nick Welch and all the other guys and everything. Are they all fans of the? I think they are, aren't they? They're genuine fans of the Transformers, aren't they? As well. I guess that makes and I guess what I'm looking at right is potentially like the new publishers. They're bidding right because they've obviously done a pitch right. It's not just we'll give you some more money, which might be that. I imagine they've obviously gone. We've got these really cool, we've got this really cool idea. They've done a massive pitch around. This is where we want to take the fandom. This is what we want to do. We see your brand here, right? We want to do this. We've got the idea. We're going to be there, and it's like blowing their mind. And like, because I guess you think potentially, I mean, they must have a relationship with IDW to a point. But again, are they saying IDW's got too long in the tooth? They're not connected enough to the fandom, to the brands.
I think it's just because IDW have got very bad business acumen just now and they lost the money and can't probably afford the franchise.
But this other company that's come in, whoever's coming in, I don't remember who it is, but they've obviously coming in, they would have pitched for it, right? And they've won. And it wouldn't have just been them pitching for it. I imagine there'd probably been one or two. There'd been probably 2 or 3 others, right?
Has it been confirmed which who's taken it over?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not.
I don't think it has it?
Yeah.
There's been some names bandied about, so it may well be one of them.
I mean, is it Skybound or something? The Walking Dead.
Skybound, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
what do they do?
Well, they did like the Walking Dead comics. They think if they took over, they would try to make Transformers popular again. Now, that's not a bad thing, because the whole idea about popular culture is it means encompassing everyone, not just a niche, and keeping you happy. And the idea, again, is if you make something very popular and you've got good writing, like, let's say, James Robert, Nick Roach, Simon Furman, you can put messages in and people will just lap it up because the writing drives that message forward.
Do you think that part of the appeal of the IDW stories, though, part of the reason why they were so successful, and I'm not just saying this being somebody from the UK, but the humour was very British. It was very UK kind of humour, and like, you know, UK and Ireland, people get it. You read it, and like the amount of times when I first got into reading the IDW stories, and I'd read comments from other people who'd read the same books, and they was, I love the fact it's like it always has that feeling of like an episode of Red Dwarf with that, you know, that element of comedy and little bits that are said in it that, you know, that we as British people kind of get. Oh, we get that reference, we get that joke. And maybe, you know, I don't know whether the US necessarily does. I know it was quite popular, but that element of it helped it to be popular. That they created characters you loved.
I think both you and Alexis touched on it. Is that the fact that writers are fans? They actually do genuinely love the franchise. They grew up with it, and I think that has always helps. Where I think sometimes, you know, some comics suffer from they get writers in who are not fans. They don't care. They want to do their own thing, which isn't usually related to that comic. So they'll try to make the comic. They'll try, they'll try to make the comic fit in with what they want to do, rather than they try to fit in with the comic.
But that was him trying. That was him trying to make it popular. So we got to be careful, right, that they don't go down that road again.
But that road is what we launched Transformers again. Gave us all these awesome toy lines.
If you go to a con, if you go to a con now and you see Megan Fox, if you go to a con now and you see like the cosplay, about 90% of the cosplay outfits are IDW characters. Loads of them, or at least IDW inspired, like that Rodimus. And I don't know. I just think it kind of transcended just the toys and pushing the toys and all that stuff. It just created its own. It was its own thing. And I wonder if it's going to be pulled back a little bit more in whoever takes over to follow along. Kind of like Hasbro must have an element of control over what they want in the story in terms of characters, which maybe at times in IDW, it felt like IDW had more freedom about it. I think James Roberts had spoken once about how, you know, he basically reeled off a load of characters he wanted to use, and they were like, yeah, do what you want. Because, you know, and then I think Hasbro now are starting to realize a lot of those characters are popular because we're getting toys of them. So that's what it comes down to. Hasbro want to know what's going to push their brand and make them money.
So basically, you're hoping, we all seem to be hoping for in this new franchise, that we get good writers in the sense of Simon Furman and James Roberts to continue.
I'd love James Roberts to come back on. I'd love him to come back, and Nick Roach as well. But I don't know. You don't know. That would be great though, and Simon Furman, because I grew up with the Simon Furman stories, and yeah, I just think, you know, IDW got him in, didn't they? When they took it over, they got him in, and he, you know, did that whole overarching story and everything. Yeah, I'd love to see him involved again, but again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure he will be. Let's just say that and leave it at that for now. Let's not spark up anything.
Is he still in the basement? Chained.
What? In English, please.
Is
you know I don't speak Spanish.
In the basement? Is he still chained in the basement? Is that what you're saying?
You ate a whole wheel of cheese? I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed.
I think Alexis is insinuating you have Simon Furman chained in your basement.
And that's why you're saying, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He ain't coming out soon.
Oh, dear.
He's not been a good boy.
I think Andy's internet's broken. He can't hear us.
No, I can hear you. But you kept freezing at my end.
It just wasn't funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's our end. Yes. It's our end. Yes, it's our end.
So what's your opinion, Rohan?
I as someone who hasn't actually read any of the IDW stuff or isn't a big fan of the
What puts you off is it the big words?
yeah, it is. Honestly, I can't read that. So I would love to see some of this transition into some sort of media format. I'm a very visual person, and yeah, no, absolutely. I think that it would be cool to have. Don't get me wrong. I think that the guys that you mentioned have done a fantastic job, and I think they should be allowed to continue with some of their own ideas and create a line specifically for collectors. And at the same time, Hasbro should look to launch something totally separate in a new direction on the other side, and let them both run in parallel. Because
Is that not what they're
like
doing
GoBot?
with the legacy
Like,
line?
they did it with GoBots. It's shit.
they only gave GoBots like 6 episodes, six comics.
6 episodes too much, some may argue, or 6 comics too much. But isn't that the whole point of the legacy? It's like a whole universe of mixing and matching already. Meaning,
True.
the comic writers can start picking from that now. They have.
Well, this
more
comes back
ability
to what I
than
said about the
before.
crossover thing. I think that would be awesome if they started to import characters that had never interacted.
But it wouldn't need
together
to be a
before.
crossover. It'd be a new universe. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
So they
Yeah,
could just
multiverse,
take those characters.
I saw a lot of crossovers in those legacy ones. There was a lot of rock lords or rocks behind them. So same thing.
and we all love those rocks.
No, we
Stealth
didn't.
rock
No one
lords.
ever said that.
Said no one ever.
I've got a load of rock lords in my garden.
You are a rock lord.
Where the hell is that sad trombone when we need it?
Taking a break.
Okay, so I think we've pretty much talked this thing down to death. IDW. Is there any closing statements people would like to make? I love you, Simon Furman.
Just that I
Look
just
at-
want to make very clear that I don't have Simon Furman in my basement. Just in case the police are watching. He's in the attic. Oh shit, I said too much.
Is that something you wanted to say about TFUK Con, Andy?
Oh,
I beg your pardon, sorry.
About TFUK Con. Is there something you wanted to say?
Well, just a reminder about TFUK Con, really. Which again, if you are interested, if you want to come and see us in the flesh, literally there, in front of your eyes, perhaps doing what you see here now, except probably better, or actually probably worse because we'll be drunk. Then yeah, come along TFUK Con. If you're interested and want to get tickets, then go to the TFUK Facebook group. Go and join there. And you'll be able to see details about it. And I think we do have a Facebook group for the TFUK Con, don't we? Which might just be under TFUK Con. Just search that on Facebook and that'll bring it up as well. And you can contact Luke on the groups or Paul, our very own Paul Farrelly, and they'll be able to let you know how you can get tickets and come and join us for the fun and frivolity and see what Alexis is really like when he's pissed. Come join us. Come join us in the chaos. And
So,
Rohan's coming too, aren't you, Rohan? Are you coming?
I will try my best to be there. Absolutely.
be
Join
there,
the
bitch.
show.
Come on.
I got no
taking
excuse
this.
now. I'm there now.
I'm telling you. Don't make me come up there.
I must admit, last night I did wake up about, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning. I felt a disturbance in the fandom. Yes. And then I woke up just to find the breaking news that IDW had lost its franchise, But yes, I guess it's about new pastures and let's see what the future holds. I'm looking forward to it personally. Alexis, what's our Instagram account?
Transformers the show.
Damn straight.
And Twitter account is TF Show UK. That's TF Show UK. Rohan, any plugs?
No, I'm good. Rohan's Corner. Catch us here next week on Transformers the Show.
Don't forget we're on Facebook. Don't forget that. We have Transformers the Show on Facebook as well. Come join us for more of this wonderful frivolity and memes.
And
Countless
Paul was here.
memes.
He would say we're often in our wonderful TF UK group,
Of course.
or T-fuck as the fans know
Exactly.
it.
Come join.
So close.
Better late than never.
So, if you fancy a T-fuck, come join us on Facebook.
Oh, take that man's drink away.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything.
Well, thank you and good night. Have an excellent weekend. Bye from the show.